Hello. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create your own network monitoring system using Linux, Cron, the command curl, curl, an InfluxDB to store the data, and Grafana to display the results of a page. This command is going to be able to execute recursively, and for this exercise, we want to be checking the milliseconds that takes to load from a particular machine the Google web page, the Bing web page, and the Yahoo website. This is pretty similar to a previous video that I posted, and this is using building your own network monitoring system using ICMP. This is just exclusively giving you the status if the circuit or some host is up or down in a ICMP ping reply using Cron, Bash, and then InfluxDB, similar in Grafana. However, looking into this post from Yuya Takeyama, he actually used the curl to collect some stats similar to what the F12 or the Fiddler will do in any modern browser to see how long it takes to load a page. With that information, actually, he just used the command line curl to append it to a text and ultimately get a result. The result is going to be based in real time, so we have to convert it to milliseconds, just adjusting the value, and eventually be able to continue the results that he's doing in percentage. However, I figure if ICMP ping can actually do it, curl might be able to do it as well. So for this exercise, for this network monitoring system using curl, the prerequisite is going to be Linux, your favorite choice. Many times I heard which is the best Linux distribution. I'm reading the Linus Torvalds book just for fun. Basically, the summary is the best Linux distribution is the one that works for you. So whichever is your flavor. A Cron scheduling system for Linux. We want to start it in InfluxDB and Grafana. The shell script is going to run for this video. I want to do every minute, but you can actually put every 5 minutes or every hour, whatever is suitable for your scenario. And then we can actually execute the shell script. The shell script is basically going to be calling from Cron a multiple other shell scripts. In this case, going to be like Google. We want to be adding Yahoo. We want to be adding Bing. Yahoo. Multiple scripts, and eventually the script is pretty simple. Basically, it's a curl command to actually do just like the video was explaining. In this case, if I just extract part of the video, which is basically a curl command on Google, and then emulate some of the browsers and put the Apple kit. If I just go back to a browser, a regular, or running an Ubuntu, if I run the command, basically what it's going to give me is going to be the access that let's see, probably some parsing here. Let me get it. We'll grab something from the agent. We don't want to play nice with the extra lines here. Let's see if that will execute now. And it did. It gave us 213 milliseconds to load the Google web page, which is great. Now, if the output of that command we happen to append it to a file called google.com.txt, basically the output of all this is going to go directly to that file. So the first thing we do, and if we do cat on w.txt, we see that it's the same similar value. We use the magic of Perl to go ahead and convert this file into milliseconds. And if I do the cat command, it's going to give me 177 milliseconds. With that information, I can actually take this and call it in a similar command from the previous video. It's actually going to give me a CURL port on the local host, on the database URL, user password, and then put a hostname test. Let's take a look. What is the output on the log? So if I do cat w on the log, it tells me that the database is not found. There's an error. So we have to create a database in InfluxDB. That's one of the prereqs. So InfluxDB, just for demonstration purposes only, allowed only to local host to connect. So don't think you want to hack something here locally, but anyway. So databases, create database. I really like the idea that have similar commands as MySQL, URL, create a database. So now we can actually call it again one more time. We can actually check the log. And now it parsed correctly. If I go back here, use Cron, here's the data that we just entered. Google, the 177 milliseconds, and the time. Cool. So we have it ready. If that's the case, it's safe to say that we can take this command, all this, and append it to a micro Google shell script. VI on that command. That looks correct. So Shemot 755. Micro Google. Execute one more time. Seems like it did. Verify this. It inserted correctly, so that's good. It's working. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and call that a script for my curl shell script. We just call the same command that we just called it, and because we have that one running here, we can call that curl command from the cron job. What we can do here is actually go there. This 1 minute, just for this purpose, you can actually change it in suitable mode. We want to call the same curl command so we can actually augment it from here. So I'm going to go ahead and do this is the ping it was doing earlier. I just put that one. I have my curl to the recursive Google. There is running my curl. Let's make sure it's executable. And it's calling actually it's calling the curl Google. And that's calling the curl to get the milliseconds in seconds, the Perl, which converts that one in milliseconds, and the other curl to import data into the InfluxDB. Nice. So now the only thing we have to do, InfluxDB, some of the references, and open source database, Grafana requirement needs to be installed. We can actually go back here and let's go ahead and go to settings and data sources. Let's go ahead and add a new data source. This will be InfluxDB. Let's call it Pro. It's localhost 8086. Of course, you can change all these in your settings for Grafana once you do the installation. And I want to connect to a database, which is the one we use for Pro. Let's save and test. Everything looks good. Let's go to the dashboard. We have the previously created for the netmon. Let's go ahead and create a new dashboard, and this is going to be add a new panel. In this case, let's change the InfluxDB for curl. Let's change the measurement as curl, where host equals Google, and in the field, let's go ahead and do linear. I want to go ahead and apply. You can go ahead and edit, change this one. Is going to be curl. Milliseconds. All right. So we have start having some of the charts here. I can go ahead and add another panel here. In this case, the visualization is going to be a gauge. Gauge here. Let's see. We can select not the InfluxDB, but I want to select the curl, the new creatory database. Curl, where host equals Google. And then call it Google. Let's go 1 milliseconds. For the field, we can make it look pretty here. Adding like 200, 400, 600, so 600 milliseconds is going to be on red. Slow page. 400 milliseconds, it might be orange. 200 milliseconds might be yellow. And let's see if 1 to 1000 tells how bad or how good is the page going. So put this one to the right. There we go. We have Google and 100 milliseconds. If I change it to the last 15 minutes, we can start see the time populating as we speak. We start showing some data because the cron job is working beautifully. So now that we have this, let's go ahead and extend this and add it Bing and Google and Yahoo. So for that regard, we have a file called my curl Google. So I can copy curl Google, my curl Bing. I can put BI curl Bing. I can use the magic of BI to substitute www.com for www.bing.com. My curl Bing works. The log shows some data, and I can see the data has been inserted into the database. So that being said, I can copy my curl Google, my curl Yahoo, my curl Yahoo. You go VI to substitute com, com, and let's like work. Let's check it in database. Sure did. We have data here. So that being said, let's go ahead and go to the graphic interface. Let's modify the curl dashboard. Let's go ahead and add another query, query B, and the query number B is going to be a select let me make sure I'm selecting the right data source. I'll do the measurement curl where host ink, and it's going to be linear. Let me scroll down here for ink, and we add another query, and this query is going to be for curl where host equals Yahoo. One thing that I'm not sure, there were two changes that I need to do here on the VI curl thing. I have to change Google Inc. host and my curl Yahoo. Say host Yahoo. Yeah, that was a couple of things we're missing here. My curl Yahoo, my curl Bing. Yeah, two things need to change: replacing the URL and replacing the host. And that should reflect correctly the data enter because everything else was Google. So now we have legitimate Google and Yahoo. Good. So now I can add another entry here, new panel, and I can select measurement, change this one to curl where host ink, the gauge here. We call Bing seconds, and we can actually see the field 1 and 4,000. We can actually change the thresholds to be 600, 100, 400, orange, and 100 for yellow. Right, apply that. We can see that in the last 5 minutes, we start having the other dots filling up. Google, let's go ahead and create one for Yahoo. Another panel here, a panel, which is going to be a couch, maybe Yahoo. And it's the InfluxDB scroll. The message is scroll where host Yahoo. And it's going to be a field on linear. The field is going to start 1,000. We had a threshold 600, which is going to be red. 400, which is going to be orange. 100, which is going to be yellow. Okay. The slowest of the pages is Yahoo. Has more content. The middle one is Bing, catching up with Google. 196, 218 for Bing, 316 for Yahoo. But you get the point. If you set up something like this, you'll be able to pretty much create your own trends in terms of oh, one more thing. My CRL is only executing one thing. It's not really executing here. Being, yeah. Now it do everything. I was wondering if it wasn't refreshing correctly. Now we're getting some data. Now we're getting some data. 226 milliseconds for Google, 251 for Bing, 283 for Yahoo. Of course, the more sites you have, the more it's going to take to reflect the changes. But you can see every minute that actually is doing some of that is retrieving some more numbers. And it's going to continually doing as we speak, as we go applying and getting more data. Look into the database. We're getting a good number of data here. But overall, you can see how this is working. Some of the good trends. Some of this is actually going way too high. Some of the things we need to, I guess we need to check and see some of those that time out completely. Make sure that they don't expand too much on the values. But if I clear the database, I got nothing. I can execute my trends again, start getting some value, and eventually go over time. The cron job is going to catch up and build those sites. Here, start drawing. So put some charts in perspective. Anyway, that's what I wanted just to show, how to build your own monitoring system with Cron, and similar concept as the ping, but this actually measures the latency and the loading of the page using the curl command. Same principle, pretty unintrusive, and you can set up from multiple points concurrently to check different servers from different locations and from different angles. So it can help you to leverage, determine if there's something going on maybe with the server performance, network performance, or something else. Hopefully you enjoyed. I want to try to put the recipe for the video in the notes for the video. Hopefully useful and enjoying Linux, InfluxDB, and Grafana. Thank you and have a great day.